Hello, I'm Larry Wilson. Please join me for another 5-minute Bible study. This is part 6 in our study on end-time events. The book of Revelation predicts worship will become a highly inflammatory issue during the Great Tribulation. We know how and why this conflict will come to pass. After Jesus burns up a third of the earth and kills approximately 2 billion people, world leaders will get together, and their solution to ending God's wrath will be a beast of a government. This government will create all kinds of sinless laws. People who refuse to obey the beast's laws will be severely punished, because most everyone will understand that God's wrath came about in the first place because of evil and degenerate behavior. To offset the authority of the beast government created by world leaders, Jesus will speak through the lips of the 144,000. The world will be informed of several things. First, everyone will hear that the hour of judgment has come. This means that Judgment Day has come. Everyone will be judged according to his actions. The sheep will be separated from the goats. Second, everyone will hear the 144,000 issue this demand, quote, "Worship him who made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and the springs of water." How does a person worship the Creator? There is only one way, and that is by obeying His commandments. How does a subject worship his king? There is only one way, obeying His commandments. What was the difference between the worship of Cain and that of Abel? Abel obeyed God. He put a lamb on the altar and sacrificed it. Cain also built an altar, but he put some really nice bananas on it. Why did God reject Cain's worship? Because worship does not occur when we knowingly disobey God. When a person tells God how and when he will worship God, God is no longer God. God is only God if he gets to dictate the rules. During the Great Tribulation, every survivor will get involved in the topic of worship because the beast will impose its laws on the entire world, and Jesus will do the same. The result will be very enlightening. Every person will demonstrate his allegiance to God by the laws he chooses to obey. When there is a big price to pay, will we obey man's laws or will we obey God's laws? As you can see, a great test of faith is coming. Most Christians worship on Sunday, even though God has never commanded it. You can read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, and there is no commandment indicating that Sunday is a holy day. But there is a commandment indicating that the seventh day of the week is God's holy day. To get around the holiness of God's Sabbath, Christians have come up with all kinds of ideas during the past 2,000 years. But when you study each of them, the reasons given are quite foolish. I've written an article on this titled, "Why Worship on Sunday?" Please click on the link that shows on the screen, and you can examine an analysis of the 7 best arguments for yourself. The Creator's seventh-day Sabbath is an important truth that has been buried in darkness for centuries. But this will change when God's wrath breaks out. I don't have time in this short study to explain the beauty and the joy that comes from observing the Creator's Sabbath, but I would like to say one more thing about it. If you add up the genealogical records given in the Bible, if you add up the years recorded in Bible history, If you add up all of the prophetic time periods given in the books of Daniel and Revelation, there is an interesting result. It turns out that the Bible speaks of 7,000 years for the curse of sin. The weekly cycle of 7 days, established at creation, is a template of world history. This means that the Sabbath millennium is about to begin. As I calculated, and I could be wrong, Adam and Eve sinned about 5,995 years ago. If we factor in that with the Lord a day is as 1,000 years, what do we find? 6,000 years, that is 6 millennial days, have come and gone, and God's Sabbath millennium is about to begin. 1,000 years of rest from the curse of sin is coming to earth, and here is the point that is so interesting. If we want to enter into God's Sabbath millennial rest, we have to obey Him and rest on His Sabbath day. To keep His Sabbath from becoming a matter of legalism, Jesus has waited until the beast will force everyone to obey its laws so that His Sabbath rest will be a test of faith. The Bible speaks clearly. The devil is preparing to make war on those who obey God's commandments and hold to the testimony of Jesus. The persecution coming upon God's people will have demonic power. I will say more about the demonic dominion that is going to overtake the world in our next video. The future is brutal for God's people, but not hopeless. Yes, hundreds of millions of Christians will die because of faithful obedience. On the other hand, billions of wicked people will go along with the devil and the beast thinking they are safe, but they are deceived. All who worship the beast will be slain by Jesus when He appears. I know this information can be frightening, but Jesus is stronger than the devil. He will destroy the devil and those who worship him. So which is better? Understanding Bible prophecy before it is fulfilled, or ignoring Bible prophecy and having your faith in God blown away because circumstances caught you by surprise? Well, I'm out of time. Please bookmark this video and share it with your friends, and hurry to part 7.